National Park Service. One thing that the parks individually find difficult because of the tremendous pressures of operating a day-to-day park is that the Park Service as a whole is very involved in commemorating the social movements of the nation. And I would point to, Stonewall National Historical Site in the LGBT community where that movement started, the 3 sites of Harriet Tubman, the plethora of and continuing addition of civil rights sites throughout the country. There's a study going on for reconstruction sites, starting back in the Reagan administration. The director of the Park Service led the Park Service to begin and complete interpreting Civil War sites and interpreting the reason for the Civil War based on slavery as opposed to based on states' rights. This desire to join the sites of conscience is another example. Included in that are many sites in the National Park Service, including all of the internment camp sites the Park Service has. There's a site that commemorates the leadership of Cesar Chavez. There is a Jazz National Historic Site. There's Tuskegee Institute and the Tuskegee Airmen. And I could go on and on. The point I'm trying to make is that connection between sites can lead individuals to understand that the National Park System is not just an array of great natural areas. It's an array of connected areas where important events in the political and social history of our country took place that is actually a piece of sometimes we refer to it as a university of learning. And these are real, actual sites for real, actual things that happen. And it's very difficult to view the National Park Service that way because it's not presented that way in general. As a matter of fact, I don't know any place that it is presented that way. But it is important for us. And let's talk specifically for a moment about the Harriet Tubman. The opportunity is not just to commemorate Harriet Tubman at Fort Monroe. The opportunity is to do that and connect Harriet Tubman to a much larger array of places that really explain what she did and what she was all about. Not all of which are parts of the National Park System. But, how many of us knew until just me recently that she was a spy and planned and encouraged them to free slaves? I believe that was in South Carolina, if I'm right, Ed. And she did that at the direction of a white general in the Civil War, and she was successful at it. So this opportunity to connect in order to understand is really a great opportunity. And at Fort Monroe, we can take leadership and not just saying it happened here, but saying this is what she was all about and this movement was all about, connecting to many, many other sites. Thank you for the time, and Ed, I hope I haven't taken too much of your time.
It's actually very helpful. And I'd like to also thank Aaron and others for making this Zoom connection work. We can actually hear you very well, and we appreciate the flexibility because these are all important conversations that we're back to her. So I'm representing the authority, the foundation, and you can see the report in the board meeting and list of things that we're doing. I guess what I would say is that you can hear all the excitement in the last half hour of the possibilities that Fort Monroe has. The foundation board allows us to accelerate and deepen that in a way that we could not do otherwise. And I've been struck by the energy of Mariella and of Michael working hard to try to keep us in connection with the foundation, the Cabell Foundation. Kim talked about how important it is to the theater as a convening place. So there are all those important conversations that are going on, and the foundation is doing a good job of that. You will be getting a letter signed co-signed by me and Mike Westfall, asking you to give at least a token gift, if not more, to the annual fund. These external funding agencies do look to see if we have 100% board participation. So I think that with all the possibilities that we have before us, that having the authority and the foundation in collaboration with the Park Service and with the community, I agree with what everyone is saying. This is a unique moment, but we're going to need to be able to move quickly as soon as we're able to talk to people in person. So as chair of the development committee, I've been really impressed with the work that the foundation is doing, and I hope that we can support them in every way.
Thank you, Dr. Ayers, for that report and for your service